Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Firelink Podcast, episode number 42 for Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024. My name is Marty Sleva. I am joined by Casey Wosu and Nick Calandra. Eric had some computer technical difficulties overnight, so we are, as I phrased it, raw dogging it like the old days. So there's no Eric, and Nick is hosting, and everything is fine, and no one is crying. But welcome, everyone. Welcome to Firelink. It's great to have you all here. This will probably be a B-roll-less episode, which is fine because you got three handsome
Yeah,
faces.
that's a luxury.
Three handsome faces, a zoomed-in logo in the other corner, as well as a little bar, which is great.
I knew I wore my hat for a reason on this episode.
Don't you always wear your hat?
No, every time. Well, I didn't want people to focus on me and not the B-roll today.
Oh, okay, beautiful. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Welcome everyone. We got a great show for you today. Our main topic is a main topic, but I feel like all of our topics this week, you know what? All of our topics are main topics.
Yes, finally.
Think about that. We're going to chat a little bit about it was like 6 days ago was the Xbox Partner Showcase. So talk a little bit about some of the highlights from that. We'll be waxing a little bit on Masahiro Sakurai, the father of Smash Bros. The past couple of years has been doing this educational series on YouTube of just game design tips, and he ended that series this week, and also announced that he has been that series was filmed 2 years ago entirely, and was he's been working on a new game since then, and also spent almost $750,000 of his own money doing that, which is amazing. Great for them. What are you doing? Well, you got Discord up. Get this Discord out of here.
I gotta set it so it records.
Oh, machi.
It's okay.
Marty
It's
set
fine.
the bots to record on you. Eric, why would you tell me I'm hosting this episode? Why would you tell me to do that? The other two aren't doing anything. I'm talking. They can do it. Why would you get me?
I was gonna figure out how to do it, but
Insane. The one person of the three of us you were telling to do something. That is nuts that you chose me. Absolutely nuts. We're also going to be chatting. This
Shit, I broke everything. Oh, no.
This is what happened. I see several versions of my room.
the extra camera boxes is probably moving the setup that Nick created. But it's fine because to some people this is an audio podcast. Therefore, we can ignore.
I think to a majority of people,
this
podcast, which is why whenever we acknowledge video things, I'm just gonna roll right through. Also, we got news that there's a Monster Hunter Wilds beta coming up. I'm gonna tell you, Casey, we're putting you in.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
Yes, mate, you guys are gonna have to hunt some monsties next week.
And then,
did you know, in the Did You Know Gaming voice, Netflix had a AAA gaming studio, including led by Joseph Staten of the Halo fame, and I used the word "had" because it no longer has a AAA gaming studio. It has been shut down before their project has seen the light of day, which is kind of surprising given the talent they amassed. And then we'll also be chatting about stuff we've been playing. I finished Silent Hill. Nick jumped into a little metaphor. Casey has been playing, quote, nada.
Wow.
which is exciting. Listen, that was me last week. I was like, I just got
That's
nothing.
true.
I got absolutely nothing. How are you guys doing? Nick, did you get everything under control? Did you wrangle this hog?
I did. I'm actually doing pretty good. So, obviously, my mom is living with me at my house now. She recovers from stuff. But she ordered a pair of pants from Amazon yesterday. Well, a few days ago. It came yesterday. It was supposed to come yesterday. Instead, I got a whole box of ring pops. Which I haven't had a ring pop since I was like 7 years old. So now I've got a whole box of ring pops that has the label on top that says it's pants, but it's actually ring pops.
That is extremely strange.
Is this some sort of scam? Like
ring pop scam?
Well, if I eat the ring pop and die, I will have my mother let you know.
Why are you eating the ring pops? Like your mom wanted, but your mom wanted pants. You need to send those back so that your mom can wear them.
If Amazon fucks up, they're like, you keep that shit. We don't want it.
Rings of pop were.
Yes, sir. Because I am talking about candy.
We're talking about candy. We're talking about candy. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of folks in chats talking about audio stuttering, which then is being it sounds like Dower Dodger might be hoodwinking us, or that's on his end, and then possibly our volumes are low. But you know what? I'm gonna be honest, guys. I don't give a shit. If I'm being 100% real with you guys, I don't care.
Literally in the red on my OBS.
Yeah, maybe
Turn your speakers up.
Yeah, just turn the knob a little to the right.
Also, yeah. So they're.
I mean, nah, I don't want to.
Oh, it sounds like Nick, you're the quiet
Oh,
one.
I
Maybe you were
did-
maybe you weren't talking into the microphone.
I did lower mine. Oh, you know what it was? I was probably.
It was because you had Slack calls.
Yeah. Wait.
Always
no,
gotta
it's
keep on
Google.
asking.
It's Google.
It's
Did you call it a microphone?
There, now I'm at 100.
Yeah, that's a microphone is short for a microphone. I don't know if you guys do that.
Well, Alex says the audio is fine, so I'm just gonna listen to the one person that says it's fine instead of everybody else that says it's right.
Yep, that's what I do. How problems get solved.
That's Andrew.
certainly
That's
how
Andrew Hickenbottom.
Sorry, Andrew. Sorry. Hey, my streams are always loud, so shout out.
He
to
said
you.
yours
I'm
was
not-
quiet
I'm
the
now-
other day.
I'm not
Listen, mine
curious
was
what.
no,
what
mine
mic
was
stands
your
for.
great.
personal streams.
No. Mine, the stream I did, I hosted myself the other day. He said the volume was great. I'm just saying.
I shouldn't be low anymore.
I care about the hearing impaired in our, even though I just said I don't fucking care. But that wasn't the main thing. Okay, let's talk about this partner showcase. It feels like it was a long time ago because it was six days ago. But so yeah, Xbox had a third party partner showcase where they shut off trailers, reveals for it was like 20-30 minutes of various games, most of them coming to all platforms, but some of them coming to just Xbox and PC, and some of them also coming to Game Pass. So I just wondered, did you guys get a chance to watch this, and if so, were there any big standouts for you, Casey?
I did not get to see like the whole thing, but I have been like seeing news trickle out since, and I was very surprised to see that Remedy released or are planning to release, I should say, that FBC Firebreak co-op shooter.
Yeah,
Like that. First of all, just a huge fan of just Remedy's mixed universe thing, right? Like,
Sure.
I'm all in for just the stories there. Cannot wait for the next Control, and this is essentially a piece of that puzzle that is in that universe, but just not necessarily part of Alan Wake. Well, no, it actually takes place in the oldest house, which is the setting of the first Control game, right?
Control.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So this is directly connected to that in that way, but it's a co-op shooter, like it's in the Left 4 Dead vein. It seems like.
Yeah, it's 3 players co-op against like waves and waves of enemies. It's one of those things where as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Ooh, this makes sense."
Right.
Because A, you could probably reuse assets that you made for Control, with these things. But B, like it is like this world that they're creating not only with Control, but now with Alan Wake and Alan Wake 2 and even Quantum Break to a degree. It makes sense to be able to sort of like poke around at weird different corners. Like this is one of those projects where it does make sense to have a game like this.
Yeah, because that whole like SCP is a thing, right? Like that's just known in like people's like collective consciousness or whatever, right?
It's like creepypasta if like creepypasta went to high school.
Right.
Yeah.
But to my knowledge, at least, like there isn't like a big IP tied to that, right? Like there,
Yeah, no,
like
it's
Remedy kind of is on the ground floor of being the premier IP that is that
Yeah.
SCP's related stuff. So like them even branding it like FBC SCP, like that, it just sounds like they are the ones who do this sort of thing. And like it was literally my introduction to that universe. I didn't know SCP was called that or like that was its own genre until those games. So like it could be that for like a lot of younger players or even older, because I'm not young at all, but it could be that for like a lot of people and can really, I don't know. I feel like it's a really good idea. I am worried because it's multiplayer focused, but I've said before, I do think the co-op thing is a much stronger avenue to sell kind of a live service multiplayer experience than like PvP, because like you can gather a couple of friends. This is supposed to be launching on both PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass, so built-in audiences on both sides.
smart
like-
for a game like this to immediately
Yeah,
be like,
like-
get as big of an audience as you can right from the ground floor.
Yeah,
so like
the indie scene has been really big on the SCP multiplayer games for a while, but yeah. I feel like the odd man out here, where like I watched that trailer and I was like, eh? As the guy that plays probably the most multiplayer games here.
Sure.
And you guys are like, yeah, this
You're
looks
also not
cool.
like crazy about like Control and Alan Wake, right? Like I know, like Casey and I are big fans of that universe, but you're
I like
whatever.
I like them, but I'm not like crazy.
I mean, that's probably what it is, right? It's more of the appeal of just more of the universe than it is, oh, this is a multiplayer shooter. Like it's more, oh,
Yeah.
this is more
Yeah.
control stuff.
I'll have to go back and rewatch the trailer again because maybe on glance I didn't really catch anything that was super interesting about it. Just kind of looked like another horde shooter. But
I mean, you might be right in that regard. That like, yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't necessarily put in the trailer that some unique hook that kind of distinguishes it.
yeah,
Yeah, like if it's going to have like interesting story that like maybe this will have connective tissue between Control 1 and Control 2.
Yeah, and that's the hope. And Remedy has been really good at that in everything else they've released. So like that might just be like why I'm defaulting to, ooh, if they are releasing more stuff in the universe, then like that stuff I want to see.
yeah. I kind of hope it's not just a bog standard thing, like that there's a lot of puzzles involved and stuff like that, because that is like the games on Steam that have really been taking off in that realm are not just horde shooters anymore, but they offer a lot of complicated puzzles and stuff that you have to solve as you're dealing with that same stuff. So
The one thing this game has that those don't is it's on consoles, which are for adults as opposed to for babies. So
Yeah.
it has that for it.
There's
I'm just
that.
saying, if Eric,
you still won't play it.
if Eric streamed from a PlayStation, we wouldn't have had today's problems.
We might have had
Instead,
more
Eric,
problems.
You would
to be
have had more
honest.
problems. Yeah.
We would have had an entirely new suite of
You'd
problems.
have had to use like the motion pad to create the overlay.
How great would that be? How great would that be?
I don't know. After just finishing Astro Bot.
Yeah, there you go. God, blow into your controllers. So yeah, some of the other games they showed off were they showed off another trailer for the Like a Dragon pirate game that's coming out
That
early
looks
next year.
pretty fun.
I think it's fucking hilarious that it has full ship battles and Skull and Bones doesn't.
It just looked like Black Flag with Like a Dragon's insanity. When you go to like the pirate stronghold is this like massive cave that looks like Las Vegas inside of it. Like I don't know, it just looks really fun.
Yeah, and it's so divorced from everything else in that world. Like it feels like you could absolutely just jump into it and not have any other baggage connected to it.
The game that excited me the most out of that showcase was surprisingly Bloober Team's that Chronos game.
Yeah, so Bloober Team, the week they released Silent Hill 2 Remake, they announced what their next project is, which very much looks like it's in gameplay-wise a similar vein as Silent Hill 2 Remake.
Dead Space.
But is more kind of like Dead Spacey sci-fi horror. We only got a little bit of gameplay at the end of it, but yeah, very much looks like an over-the-shoulder, spooky over-the-shoulder shooter. But yeah, it would be interesting to see if this is a turning point for Bloober, because Silent Hill 2 Remake is, I think, far and away their best, warmest received game, and so
to be honest, it's like their only like real gameplay game.
Yeah,
the rest of their stuff is walking sims for the most part.
Yeah, even the medium was.
What do you guys feel about the statement they made where they essentially was like, "Oh, we're done making shitty games."
It's that easy. It's that easy.
I mean,
you know what? Why doesn't everyone do that?
Yeah,
What if we as an industry got together and everyone was just like, you know what, we're gonna make some goodies.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Bloober Team's always been like that interesting studio. Like their games have sold well enough that they have been
Release things at a consistent clip.
Yeah, like I don't know, like their games don't sell that great, but they sell okay, and like they've gotten some Game Pass deals and all that before. But definitely very curious where they. I guess Konami paid them a pretty penny to make Silent Hill 2, and they're like, "Yep, we're gonna make this other game at the same time."
Yeah, and like the Konami said that the way it worked was they accepted pitches from a bunch of different studios for what they would do to like what their Silent Hill 2 remake would be, and Bloobers was the one they went with. So I don't know, they got something going on there. So it'll be interesting to see if they keep that momentum going forward. Two of the other standouts to me were we got another look at Eternal Strands, which is that. It's colorful, like visually, it almost looks like Immortals: Phoenix Rising, but it's sort of like you're battling these kind of giant titans, climbing them, Shadow of the Colossus style. But the combat has almost like a Breath of the Wild. I hate that I'm comparing this by just pulling a bunch of other games out of a hat, but it has this like kind of chemistry system to where you can use like gravity and ice and fire and combine them in ways like, ooh, ice and fire will make steam, and then gravity can shoot that steam. Or if you have a gravity well and throw ice in it, it turns into a bunch of icicles that go and like attack the enemy. So it seems very like player choice focused in its combat. Physics, yeah.
More games need physics. Physics make every game better.
That reminds me of that battle royale that got shut down, Spellbreak.
Oh yeah,
A little bit like that, yeah.
Like
totally.
that. That was totally a thing in that as a battle royale, and it worked. Like it was really fun. And this Eternal Strands thing, like it's a multiplayer thing. Yes,
player.
I believe it's single player. Yeah, it's totally like a single player adventure. I think it's like former Blizzard folks, some former Blizzard folks were working on it.
It's Laidlaw's studio, BioWare.
Oh, Mike Laidlaw. Never mind, BioWare. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, and that's coming to Game Pass as well. And then they showed this indie game that I think they showed off before called Wheel World. That's just like it's a real colorful looking Marty game where you ride around on a bike and you got a ghost on the front of it. And let me tell you, you put a ghost in front of my bike, day one, absolutely day one.
Yeah. The other game that has really surprised me, and I'm actually really excited to get my hands on it now, is Stalker 2. Like, previews were really good on it. When we saw it at PAX West, it looked really good. People were really enjoying it there. I'm happy to eat crow on that one. I mean, it doesn't look as good as the initial trailers. Those are definitely bullshot trailers. But so what? The game sounds like it's really good. So I'm glad to eat crow. Hopefully, eating crow on that when it comes out.
Tasty crow.
They pulled it off.
Tasty crow. Love that tasty crow.
Yeah. Was there no interest in the Wu Chang Fallen Feathers?
I'm very interested. I always take another Souls-like. That looks good.
Yeah.
But it's also published by 505, and I'm a bit hesitant on them sometimes.
Really?
Even though they publish Control.
I mean, yeah, like they're just the publisher, right? So
yeah, they just tend to more often than not publish kind of mediocre stuff.
Like I haven't looked heavily into this, so I don't know who the dev is, but it looks like it's another kind of big budget thing coming out of Asia, right? Like is this like a Chinese or Korean developer. Chinese developer? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, similar. It's similar to. I guess what was the first big one? A few like Liza P, and then we got obviously Stellar Blade, and we got Wukong earlier this year.
Lords of the Fallen.
That is not by nature.
Yeah, that's not.
I thought we were just talking Souls. No,
I'm not even talking.
I was ready to throw hands.
Not always talking about Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, so it's hitting that point to where like it's easy to get these. Because it feels like we see a game like this in almost every showcase now.
Yeah, like they like
and even like
space for
Wu Chang sounds like Wolong. Like their names are even
yeah.
One, obviously, this one's delving more into like kind of mythology, and some of the combat even looked a little bit like Neo 2, where there's some they have like gunplay and stuff, like period accurate gunplay, I guess.
It looks a lot like Neo, honestly.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I've been really hyped for these sorts of games, like just the stuff coming out of East Asia. Wukong did put a bad taste in my mouth. Like that made me feel like, okay, yeah, there's not like this treasure trove of just super talented devs that have not been able to send their stuff over here before until now. Yeah. Like some of them cannot cook over there. So that has taken the wind out of my sails, because when I first saw this, like this released for like a very bullshot gameplay trailer as well, if I remember correctly. Yeah. But the concept looked super cool, so I was just waiting for the actual gameplay, and the gameplay doesn't look terrible, but I'm still kind of weary. But I am interested. Like I would love to get hands on to see how Wu Chang actually plays. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other games stick out to you guys? I thought it was a pretty decent showcase. Yeah. Nothing like groundbreaking for me, but just further reminders that cool shit is coming out next year and beyond.
Subnautica 2, that was a big one, right?
Subnautica 2, yeah, I got excited. They threw a 2 at the end of. I don't care about Subnautica, but throw a 2 at the end and piqued my interest. So yeah, it seems like it's gonna be co-op, which is something that the original game didn't have. So yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, more examples of some good good stuff coming to Game Pass as well. So still worth that subscription.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah. Cool. Well, moving on from that. So as we mentioned at the top, Masahiro Sakurai, the steward of the Smash Bros. Series, for the past few years, he's been running a YouTube channel, like since Ultimate kind of wrapped up, I think. He's been running this YouTube channel where, like, every week he's posted fucking 273 videos on this channel.
Wow.
And like every week, it's just like a really cute edited, sometimes short, sometimes longer video on just like game design tips. It's like literally like almost like a college course on game design do's and don'ts from someone who has been making games for an extremely long time. Very successful games for an extremely
He would
long
even go further than just game design sometimes and talk about like people management. Like he was talking about like how to like interact in like the studio and like ways to make decisions and stuff. Yeah.
And so the series came to an end, and he revealed that he pretty much recorded all of these videos like 2 years ago, and he paid for all of them using his own money, and he does not have ads on the channel because he thinks it's like a resource for young aspiring game developers. And he said he spent like $250,000 of his own money on this project, which is like fucking kind of amazing. Like that's like such a cool thing to do for the medium itself.
Like I've been singing Sakurai's praises for a long time now. Like he keeps getting better. He might be the greatest gamer on the planet. Like that sounds like hyperbole, but like he is a masterful games player, masterful game maker. He's knowledgeable in terms of just like Sakurai's so good at making video games because he's so good at everybody else's games. Like one of his
Kirby.
He's Kirby. Yes, he's Kirby. Yes.
Swallow any game he wants.
Yes, he is Kirby.
Yeah.
Like he's just a endlessly fascinating dude, and like to see like how his brain works and like how his decision making process works. Well, of course, the video it was an excellent YouTube channel. Like I didn't watch every single video, but like every one that I did watch, super interested in. But like that's just nuts.
To anyone watching or listening who's interested in game development, which I know we have plenty of folks in our community who are, like I highly recommend these videos. He also announced that for the for like the past 2.5 years, he's been working on his next game, and he didn't say what it is, but he said it'll be revealed sooner than later.
He said sooner
I imagine if we could bet in Vegas that this is a Smash game for the next Switch.
I don't think so. I'll be honest.
You don't think so? Okay.
I don't think whatever this is, I think it's a new thing. And whatever's going on with Smash, I think he is involved, but that's maybe starting like now. Like that has started recently.
Oh, interesting. Okay. You don't think that they were immediately like, as soon as Smash Ultimate wrapped, like we got to get one of these into production? This game sold so many fucking copies.
No, I think
they'll just upgrade it for the new hardware and sell it again.
Nintendo would do that, but they would defer to Sakurai. Like that has been the relationship, right? And I don't think Sakurai, unless he fully is like tapped out, is like, yeah, there's nothing more I can do with this. Just do that. And honestly, like in his heart of hearts, I think he has that dog in him in the sense where it's like, well, I'm not going to go out like that. Like my next one isn't just going to be a rehash. Like I'm gonna go big because like he just that's the passion that he has.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it would be another full-fledged Smash game.
Some folks in the chat, I guess we were just using his name kind of without explaining. He's been at HAL Laboratories, right? That's the name of the company?
Yes.
And
now Sora.
He
started at HAL.
Yeah, he He was the director of the original Kirby and directed pretty much all the Kirby games throughout the '90s, and then was the director of Smash and directed all the Smash games, and then also directed Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus DS game.
Do you think maybe it could be a new Kid Icarus game?
It could be anything, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure they would trust him with a new IP.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Nintendo probably gives that man a blank check.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but just cool that, I mean, if he has been working on it for 2.5 years, then it would make sense that this would be an exciting thing when they reveal Switch or in the early days of the new Switch to be like, hey, and here's Sakurai's new thing. Like, whether it's a familiar IP or whether it's something new. Yeah.
Remember,
yeah.
we talked about Sakurai and Harada and
and like Mikami and Kamiya.
they all sat down at like that dinner in Tokyo that one night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Suspicious. Like the plot thickens. I feel like that may have been related to this. Like it's just an information session going around. Like, hey, how would you handle this? How would you handle that? I feel like I don't know.
Coming
it's
coming together like the Power Rangers to make Megazord
game. We do know that it is most likely not that thing I was really excited to sign up for, that Nintendo playtest. It has
totally a Marty
it
game.
Was just immediately leaked and data mined, and it's funny because it keeps all mentions of it on Twitter and stuff get nuked, and so people have just gotten a communal Google Doc that I have shared. This is not my Google Doc. This is a communal Google Doc that you cannot edit, but with all of the information that's been mined from it, you can't shut down a Google Doc. And so essentially what the game is like, it's like a big multiplayer kind of like gaming experience thing where you create these little like almost like topiaries, and everyone's creating them, and their worlds are slowly merging. And this is by the Nintendo team that did like Labo and stuff like that, so they're kind of Nintendo's like experimental basement weirdos. Seems neat. Doesn't seem like my kind of thing, but seems neat. Question mark.
It like the premise sounded like Pokemon. Not Pokemon. It sounded like Animal Crossing.
Yeah, Animal Crossing. Yeah.
So like, if this is like
it does not sound like Pokemon.
if this is like a dummy version of them, kind of figuring out like the next stage of an Animal Crossing like thing.
Interesting. Yeah. Like a way that like communities, people's villages or whatever could exist in the
like
same world.
Yeah, like a connected world.
Yeah,
right?
Not just like, oh, I went to sleep and I woke up in your world kind of thing. Or I took the boat over to your island.
Leave their houses ever again.
We just need another pandemic. If we get another pandemic,
no.
Toss this.
The power to avoid Marty.
Then again, like to immediately refute what I'm thinking here, especially since this isn't from the Animal Crossing team. This is from like their kind of R&D playhouse, right? I don't think those guys do anything that's tied to anything else. They just do what they want to do. So like, if this ends up being like a good idea, like it'll probably just be a brand new IP that they shop around.
Yeah. Nintendo's, they've
they're not scared to kind of launch just crazy stuff.
Not at all. And for as eye rolling as it could be to get you're gonna get a Mario game and a Zelda game and a Metroid game and everything, like they do still, they give us the stuff like Pikmin and stuff like Splatoon and ARMS, and some of them are more successful than others, but they're definitely not shy about tossing weird new ideas and seeing what sticks. And then also speaking of, I guess, betas, just wanted to touch on, there was a little Monster Hunter showcase earlier today, and then they announced that the open beta will be coming next week, which is exciting for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation.
And KC.
And it's coming PC, Xbox, and PlayStation?
No, and I said and KC.
It's
and KC. I thought you said KC. Yeah, it's coming directly to you. It's early access for if you have PlayStation Plus, whatever fancy, you can hop in on the 28th, and then I believe everyone else can like hop in on the 30th or the 31st.
Yeah,
and they said it'll be crossplay as well between them. So
that's good. That's
nice.
Nice.
Kept KC from it. No.
I can wait 2 days.
Can you though?
You can wait 2 days.
Yeah, I can wait.
I think you're gonna sign up to play it.
If I had PlayStation Plus, I would play it there.
I think
their early access bullshit would have worked, but I got rid of PlayStation Plus forever ago because I'd never use it. Like this would have been the only time in like the past 5 years or whatever that I would.
Are you going to get it so you can download Dino Crisis?
I do not care about Dino Crisis.
Oh my God, the dinosaurs are in crisis.
Punches of the Capcom today.
I thought we were in crisis because of the dinosaurs.
There's no way we're not going to know until you play it.
Yeah, it's true. The dinos are getting shot up in that game. I think they are in crisis.
we need to help those dinos. But yeah, we'll. I'm sure we'll have coverage. Like maybe if we could find a time for you guys to stream it, because I know you, Jess, and You mate are big Manhun fans.
This is true.
So it'd be great to have you guys be able to
Alternative
stream
wanna-
that.
Monster
I
Hunter.
want to put
undies.
emphasis. That's an entirely different game. I want to put emphasis on the fact that this beta test is crossplay. These games have never been crossplay before.
Oh, I
And
didn't know that.
that's a big deal. I feel like
That is cool.
like every platform, every hunter can play with one another. Like that's cool as hell.
Yeah, that's very cool. I did not know that. I think this game's gonna be really big.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not like that's a hot take or anything because all of the games have been really big, but
Really,
uh,
really
es-
big.
es- yeah, especially with that crossplay. Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I'm curious how quickly it gets ported to the next Switch, and once that comes out, because
Look, I don't think the next Switch can run it. I'm gonna be honest. We don't
Really?
know what that hardware is.
It
We
must
don't
bad
know
version.
what it
about
is.
a bad version of it?
Monster Hunter Wilds is even on
Okay, maybe a
Switch.
bad version, sure. Maybe
Yeah.
a really terrible version that is disconnected from the crossplay universe.
You could only
Maybe.
play with you could only play with your friends in the weird Nintendo Online experience thing.
That okay, I can see that happening.
Yeah, exactly.
What if the next Switch is just the most powerful console that's ever existed?
I won't believe it even if I do see it.
Yeah,
Like that will
Exactly.
never happen.
yeah, exactly. And then before we move on to our main topic, a couple super chats that came in throughout the show. Fabio, thank you so much for joining. Tipchar and Lyle, thank you so much for re-upping. Appreciate you both. Zoobmer with a $2 dono. Thank you so much, Zoob. Best offline tablet games, Netflix included.
Do any of us even own a tablet to play games on?
I do. I actually just bought.
Of course you did.
An iPad for manga. Those are like comics, but Japanese.
Oh,
Oh,
Let me tell you.
read your mangas.
Oh, I've been doing so much weebing. I'm caught up on Chainsaw Man. I just read all of
Oh,
it.
nice.
I read all of it. Now I'm reading all Den.
It's Chainsaw Man is not a finished story, is it?
No, it is not. There's
Okay.
180 some issues.
Gotcha. All right.
And so yeah, it's one of those where I'm like, wow, how are they going to adapt this all? But
They probably won't. It'll stop at some
I
point.
want to find like a nice 100 issue finished manga, but those are kind of hard to come by. Most things are just ongoing and never end.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in terms of tablet games, I don't play a ton of games on tablet. Just some of my favorite mobile games, like the Monument Valley games, I think are wonderful, and they're very tactile. I think my favorite things about tablet games are ones that like really use that sort of touchy-feely, gross factor of tablets. So I think those are delightful. Netflix honestly has like a ton of great games on it. So I mean, on tablets you can play stuff like Her Story and Telling Lies. You could play Balatro. You could play.
That's in Netflix's
no.
game category? No?
Wait, you're saying Bellagio? Her story is
Yeah.
in Netflix's category. Bellagio is not.
Oh, Balatro's not in Netflix. No.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Oxenfree games. Yeah, there's all sorts of great stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I could, if you give me time to think, when we go next week, I'll put up a big whole list of Marty recommended seal of approval tablet games with a thumb up.
Been playing Bellagio on my phone since the minute it came out. I've almost finished the entire difficulty course for the flush deck.
Is it still boring?
No, you're boring.
Okay. I was just wondering. Yeah, I was just wondering because every time I play it, it's really boring.
You just don't understand fun.
I don't understand fun.
Yeah, you just rewatched
They call me
Lost over
Johnny
and over
Fun where I
again.
come from. they
That's
call me Fundos Finer. That was me trying to say Fungus Finder's name. But
sound like
with
the
fun.
creepy ass uncle.
Creepy uncle? The Crunkle?
The Crunkle.
Fat Cock. Speaking of fun, with a $5 dono, thank you so much, Fat Cock. We need PlayStation All Stars 2.
Nah.
No, we don't. We really don't.
I don't know who would make it. Like, in theory, it isn't a bad idea, but I think Astro Bot kind of took that lane. Like, Astro Bot is the PlayStation celebration.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay.
PlayStation didn't need a Smash game. They tried. I think that's a lot.
I mean, everybody needs a Smash game, but like
Yeah, we
that
got
one just
Rivals
wasn't
of
it.
Aether 2 now.
Yeah,
That don't got Kratos in it. Does it have Kratos? It might actually have Kratos in it. I don't know anything about it.
It does not. It's got a dude who's like a Kratos because his name is like Crag or something. I think.
Kragos? Kragos?
It's close enough.
Speaking of Kragos, they announced the showrunner left. The
God of War
showrunner,
thing,
the God of War Amazon series. However, has been replaced with Ronald D. Moore, who was the showrunner of the modern Battlestar Galactica and the creator of For All Mankind. I'm like, oh, you made some good stuff, Mr. D. Moore.
So there's like an upgrade.
I think maybe it's also someone who's clearly worked in big budget genre stuff before. So yeah, we'll see.
Right.
Yeah, I'm curious if it's going to be more of a. Oh yeah, Deep Space Nine. There you go. This is Star Trek. Also, boring. Star Trek and Blatro are both in the boring. So yeah, well, Darren will probably watch it anyways. Darren's a curious man.
He is.
Yeah. Shinzu with a 5-pound no. Thank you so much, Shinzu. Finally playing Persona 5. It is so good. Why do you never talk about it, Marty? At the Third Palace, a bit overwhelmed with stuff to prioritize. Any advice? I do. This is that's on me. Sorry, I should talk about Persona more. So that's on me. Please do. This is going to be weird advice. In the loading screens of the game, in the corner, it says "Take your time." And for a fresh playthrough, my advice to everyone is to listen to that. Is to take your time and to not worry about min-maxing. Not worry what you're missing out on. Don't worry about FOMO. Don't worry about the only thing you should. The only thing you should worry about is Persona games near like the 2/3 mark have a crucial choice, and if you don't make the right decision, the game just ends. So that's the only thing to worry about. But that's like an easy thing to Google.
I thought you were. I thought you were leading into on those loading screens when it says "Take your time." Make sure to use that time to go take a pee and come back.
Yeah, just take a big leak. But yeah,
does the game tell you? Does it give you any warning? Like, hey,
it's time to
the choices are very obvious in both Personas 4 and 5. It's pretty much like a villain will be like, "Do you want to sell all your friends out, or are you going to be heroic and like shoulder the burden for them?" And so,
just
like,
don't be a dick.
Just be the hero that the character is, but also role play in that way. Like if you wanna just go on a bunch of dates with a bunch of people, go on a bunch of dates. If you want to go to the batting cages like some sociopath every night, go to the batting cages every night.
And some unsolicited advice from me: go for the goth doctor.
Go for the goth doctor. Yeah, go wherever your heart takes you.
She's got the good stuff, the drugs.
Great game, and we'll talk about it later. But fans of Persona should definitely check out Metaphor ReFantazio. I think it's very cool to see so many folks in our Phoenix tier chat going gaga over it. So big fan of that. And then Quintuple A, thank you so much for a $2 dono. Someone mentioned P5. I get to mention Metaphor. You did it.
Marty beat you to it.
You mentioned Metaphor. I mean, Quintuple's one of those people in the Phoenix tier chat who keeps going gaga. So there you go. All right, main topic. Nick, we're getting to your favorite topic. Rebel Moon.
Movies that I have not even watched yet because the first one was so bad.
Get the fuck out of here.
You haven't watched Avatar.
Moon?
Shut up.
Rebel Moon's your Avatar. Okay.
No. Rebel. I at least started watching Rebel Moon, and it was so bad I put it down.
You know what? I love my Avatar so much. I'm deathbedding it. Are you deathbedding Rebel Moon?
You guys are
deathbedded part 2 and the part 1 and part 2 director's cuts.
It's not. They're not. Don't ever put James Cameron and Zack Snyder on the same coin.
They're on the opposite side. That's what that means.
No. Different coins. You each get their own coin.
So who's on the opposite side of Zack Snyder's coin? Who's on the opposite side of James Cameron?
Zack Snyder's a fucking a rusty ass penny, and James Cameron is like a Sacagawea dollar.
The other side of Zack Snyder's coin
most
is
pristine of
the guy that directed Rise of Skywalker and. Colin Terrell.
J.J. Abrams directed Rise of Skywalker.
He did? Well, he picked it up after Colin screwed it up.
Colin Trevorrow?
Yeah, Colin Trevorrow. Him and that Jurassic.
No. First off, no. J.J. Abrams does not get to skirt blame from that movie.
He's like in the middle of the coin between them.
No, he's not. He sucks.
What kind of coin are you talking about?
He helped create Lost, which is the only thing he's ever done in his life, and then he fucking vamooshed. Well, that's not true. Cloverfield's pretty cool. But again, all his cool shit.
Second time Cloverfield's got brought up today. I was on Yahtzee's stream.
It's because that Kong game is like Cloverfield, right?
Ah.
I don't remember Cloverfield being very good either.
The first Cloverfield rules, and
Does
Cloverfield,
it?
the
Really?
second one
Okay.
rules too.
The Clover. All I remember out of Cloverfield was just it was novel because of the found footage angle.
No, it was legitimately good.
Was it? There was a lot of found
I think I
footage
was.
stuff
I think I was
at
too
that
young.
time.
Well, that was when the found footage stuff was trendy. Because Paranormal
It
Activity
was, and
happened right around that
Cloverfield.
time.
Paranormal Activity was super late to that
Was
party. It was, yeah, but it was well received, and I feel like Cloverfield was also on the tail end of the found footage.
Cloverfield
Cloverfield was also directed by Matt Reeves, who would go on to
Oh.
direct the Planet of
Go
the
back
Apes
and
2 and
rewatch
3 and the Batman.
Well,
The Batman.
The titular Batman.
he's
He's probably futzing about that penguin as well. He's probably got his fingers in some penguin pies.
Oh no,
Netflix. We're talking about
gotta-
Netflix. Everyone
he's got to
shut up.
stop that.
Netflix. So, Netflix, over the past few years, was accumulating talent into an internal studio known as Blue. And their whole goal was to develop, quote, a multi-platform AAA game for an original IP. So this was not going to be, they have some games in the works. Like they had this Rebel Moon mobile game. They've had some Stranger Things games and stuff. But this was going to be like a big, like AAA experience. The studio was going to be led by Joseph Staten, most notably of the Halo franchise. They got like the art director from God of War 2018. They really, they bolstered their roster with some really big heavy hitters, and with Netflix's seemingly unlimited reservoir of cash.
Yeah, they built like a super group.
Yeah, and the thought was like, oh man, this could be like a new like LA-based AAA studio. That's pretty exciting. However, Steven Totillo's GameFile newsletter announced that the studio has been shuttered, and the game that they have been working on for the past several years will never see the light of day. So Netflix's foray into AAA gaming was over before I would say a lot of people in the audience probably even knew it ever began.
Knew that it happened, right?
Yeah.
Netflix's their strategy with games has always been weird, because it's especially when Microsoft entered the subscription service game and Netflix was like, "Ooh, that sounds fun." It seemed like a very natural way for them to be competitive in the space. It's like, hey, we have the platform that's on just a million devices.
Yeah.
If we just put games in there and give you a way to play those games, like it's just part of your subscription, right? It'll even justify jacking up the price, which they did anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But they somehow managed to silo the game stuff to mobile and make it indiscernible from any other video game app store. Whereas the platform that is just ubiquitous with just being literally on any device you plug into a screen, nothing.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
It's
Netflix. That's how it happens.
Like the games that are on the Netflix games that you can play, like literally some of the best indie games of the last 5 years are just available on your phone if you have a Netflix subscription, but you probably don't know because it's a massive pain in the ass to get to them. And like Netflix does a terrible job of advertising this. But they've also acquired studios. Like they acquired Night School Studios a couple years ago, the developers of Oxenfree 2, After Party. They recently, in that same piece, they talked about how they acquired Spry Fox, the developer of Cozy Grove. And so like, while incubating this AAA studio, they've also been acquiring pretty well received indie devs. And I don't know, my question is just like, for what?
Yeah, what does this do with
Night
them?
School
Yeah.
Studio, I'd be real concerned right about now.
I mean, my thought is, so they acquired Night School, and like Oxenfree 2 was already in development.
Yeah.
My gut says whenever we find out what Night School's next game is, it is going to be in a Netflix world. It is going to be a Stranger Things game, or it's going to be like a fucking what's the scary game show?
Bridgerton? Squid Game.
Oh,
Squid Game, yeah. Scary game show. The scary game show. It makes sense because like all these corporations want corporate synergy. Whether that works very much remains to be seen. But
just do what Disney's doing, license out their IPs.
I agree. Yeah,
That is what they should have
reason
been
for
doing.
Netflix to own game studios.
No, there was a reason. is because they have a platform.
No, yeah, I get that.
Literally everyone has access to. They just failed to leverage it. Like Marty said, almost nobody knows that you have access to whatever games that they have in their library via their Netflix subscription. But what's weird is if you don't have a Netflix subscription and you want to play these games because you're looking for some of these mobile games, the fact that you don't have the Netflix subscription would stop you.
I'm actually gonna correct you a little bit there. That like recently, I don't know how recently you've opened Netflix.
Like on my phone,
even on your
like
TV or anything.
Yeah, like yesterday maybe.
Oh, yeah. For me, the games like pop up right away now, like front and center.
TV?
Yeah, on my
on
TV.
the TV.
Mine definitely don't pop up on my TV.
That's weird. Yeah,
what can you do with the games on your TV?
Oh, I don't know. I've never tried them. That's gonna be my next question. It's like, have any of us
you
even
like hook up?
Have any of us even played
a controller to your TV?
Yeah, well,
I don't think maybe that's changed. But that was what I was looking for when this thing first was announced. I was looking for the game section on like my TV app. Oh my god! If they could have snuck this in to just any console app version, like they just sneak their games off the fucking Xbox because the Netflix app is there already. Like I don't understand where that disconnect happened.
They should have
homework for next week.
On live.
We each have homework for next week. Casey has to play Monster Hunter beta. Nick has to play Star Citizen finally, and I'll figure out how this Netflix thing works.
Okay, so none of us have tried these games on Netflix.
No, I've played some of the games on my phone.
Yeah. Oh, you have?
I played Into the Breach on my phone.
I can't remember what it was.
Do they play?
I did download a Netflix game to see how it functioned, and it's like it's a weird partition thing where like you have to go into the App Store, download the game, but then it checks that you have a Netflix subscription, so you have to sign into Netflix before it opens the game.
Oh no, and the games run fine. It's not like you're streaming the games or anything. Like it is.
No, yeah, you just download it like a regular app game, and that's why I was so confused. Why like they put all these hurdles in front of it? Like it could have just been on the regular App Store, but via. Well, I know because I guess then they would take the 30% cut, right?
Yeah.
So I guess they had to partition it that way.
Why don't they just partner with Xbox? Well, because Xbox has cloud gaming and Game Pass. This is stupid. Like if Netflix, I was saying it just a second ago, Netflix should just revive OnLive. If you want to play games through Netflix, get a dongle and a controller, and there you go. Download it straight from your TV.
Take the Stadia out of the boy, but you can't take the boy out of the Stadia.
That would have been a really good avenue for them.
I know, but you're still trying to chase that Stadia high you had.
It was good.
Also,
Google.
no joke. I would bet $100. I know what Night School Studios is working on.
Okay,
they're gonna have a adventure game similar to Oxenfree, but in the Wednesday universe.
Why Wednesday?
It is literally the biggest Netflix show of all time.
Is it? Oh my god!
By quite a large margin. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
There's only like one season of that show, right?
Yes. You don't understand the youth.
I don't.
I am part of the youth, and I don't understand the youth.
Oh, you're not the youth. I'm sorry to tell
Shit,
you. You're like a weird.
Who
You're in a
told
weird
you
liminal
were
state.
part of the youth?
Yeah.
Where did you get that information?
I got 5 months until I'm 30.
Absolutely not part of the youth. Absolutely not part of the youth.
I'll go back to my classic rock.
Yeah. Yeah, Wednesday is fucking massive.
That's wild. I did not realize.
I knew Wednesday was massive. I think out of all their shows, it's the one that's in popular culture the most because like you'll see people doing the dance on Instagram and TikTok.
And like Jenna Ortega is like one of the most famous people on the earth. She's the star of Wednesday.
No,
I've
seen Wednesday. I watched the show. I had no idea it was that freaking popular.
Yep. Kids love Wednesday. Fat Cock. $5 dono. Thank you so much, Fat Cock. Ironically, Netflix has the best version of GTA Definitive Edition that mostly works. I believe that is true. I believe that the mobile version of GTA Definitive Edition, which is available through Netflix, is the best version of that game. Which we live in a very dumb,
Netflix
in a very terrible.
No sense. How long that's gonna last?
Yeah. I feel like there hasn't even been like an original series on Netflix I've been excited about for a long time.
Well, yeah, now that Mike Flanagan's moved over to Amazon, his deal with Netflix is over. So
it's funny you bring that up because I just got my mom to start watching The Hill House.
Oh, nice. Are you gonna terrify her?
Yeah.
And just go dump a bunch of ring pops on her during a jump scare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm real. Yeah, I'm like, I wonder. I hope details at some point come out what Netflix was working on, but man, like that dev team is not on. I just can't imagine taking. They must have gotten paid really well, because I can't imagine like being comfortable taking a AAA job from Netflix. They had no room in the gaming space yet.
Yeah, maybe that was part of the
I can
part of the
imagine.
excitement of it, and it's one of those like it's like a snowball effect to where it's like, oh, they get an executive producer of Overwatch, and then oh, they get a former director of Halo, and oh, they got the artist of God of War. Like, it almost feels like, oh, this is too big to fail, right? And then
This is so Netflix, right? But also, we've seen this before. We've seen when like a big
Stadia.
company says, "No. I mean, I'm talking about
stop
Microsoft
talking
in
about
particular."
Stadia.
Well, but he's talking about seeing it before. They bought those
No,
studios.
I'm
and
not
created
talking about.
studios.
I'm not talking about the streaming thing. But they did do that. You're right.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about Microsoft, who put together the first quadruple A studio by trying
Yeah.
to pick. Well, here's a super talented dev from here, super talented dev from there. If we just put them all together, then they'll make something great. Like it's like an equation that has never been tested. Like
Yeah.
on paper it makes sense, but like no one is a mathematician.
Yeah.
And we've seen how
It's-
that fell apart for Perfect Dark.
It's such an interesting looking at that kind of mentality in those studios, like in the West, compared to when you look at Japanese studios like FromSoft or even Nintendo's internal teams, or even like the team behind Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, and you look at the names of like the leads on that game, you're like, oh, a bunch of these people worked on the original Final Fantasy VII, and a bunch of the people who worked on Elden Ring were working on Demon's Souls,
Yeah.
and a bunch of the people who worked on Tears of the Kingdom were working on Ocarina of Time. Like,
Unless you're Konami, it seems most of those studios realize what talent they have and don't waste it.
Yeah.
did Konami do something bad?
Maybe.
Yeah, that is true. Konami really screwed the pooch there.
I mean, they had a
Could've
good
a
run.
sample. They had a great run. Yeah. Sometimes things just end.
But yeah, I mean,
Sometimes they end very dramatically. In the case of Kojima.
we had this talk, man, quite a few episodes ago. But like, when you think about like the AAA studios today in the West, like you don't really think there's not very many like legacy big devs left at those studios. They've all gone off and formed their own indie studios now.
Yeah.
It's
I guess like what do you have? You have Neil Druckmann at
Sony's held on to their
Naughty
talent
Dog.
for a lot of it.
Yeah, they've done a good job, but
but then their parent company is Japanese, right? So like they maybe have some of those ideals that they hold on to for the Western studios that they own.
yeah.
Until you get to Concord.
Well,
What happened to Concord? I was
that's
back into
new.
it this weekend.
That's new Sony. But it's funny because like that. This was a conversation I had like outside of like the gaming space with just like some friends, right? About how just people don't stay in an industry for 10, 20, 30 years, period, anymore. Like just adults don't get to do that. And it's not because millennials are flippant and Gen Z's lazy or whatever, right? It's because the companies lay off and fire literally everyone because they're trying to churn employees to pay them less, right? Yeah.
Or you hit a point where you're like, I'm never going to move up and I can never make more money, and so I just need to leave. I need to go somewhere else. And like,
right, because they're not paying you well because they don't appreciate you. So
Yeah.
like that's just a cultural thing in the West that is hurting the video games industry and probably every other industry that needs talent to basically learn their craft over time.
Mhm.
It's bad.
And also just teams that know how to work with each other and
Yeah,
stick
that-
together. Like Second Wind, go support us on Patreon.
It was terrible. It was terrible. I hated it. The episode's been so nice up until this point. Hasn't been so nice. It started off completely on fire. And then you keep bringing up Stadia.
Yeah, that's dead and buried in ashes. I'm just sifting
Also,
through
I
it.
think I was the only one who brought up Stadia. So far.
Yeah, I brought up.
Nah.
Yeah, I brought up On Live. Get with it.
I like thinking about Stadia.
It was such a good idea. God damn it.
It was a
God
little
damn it,
early.
Google.
Just a little, just a smidge too early.
Destiny
No,
2
no,
ran great
was-
on Stadia.
It was right on time is what it was.
Oh,
Was it?
On Live was too early.
OnLive
Stadia
worked
was
better
right
than
on
most
time.
of them. OnLive worked better than Xbox Cloud.
It was still too
for the
early.
most
We
part.
weren't ready for OnLive.
I was.
There's
we were
corners
ready
there's
for
corners
Stadia.
of my house, and I get bad reception there. If I can't use my PlayStation Portal in every corner, nook and cranny in my house, if I can't go into my cobwebbed corner of my basement, get my Astro Bot trophies, then what are we doing? Um,
It's a good point.
I probably have lead paint or something. That's the reason the Wi-Fi signals aren't going through. Let's talk about what we've been playing, what we've been watching, what we've been eating. Nick, did you finish Silent Hill 2?
No, I'm wrapping up the. No, I just got out of the apartment complex.
Gotcha. The spooky apartment complex?
Yeah, I fought.
Is there any other kind in that game?
I fought Pyramid Head for the first time.
Oh, nice. Well, technically, the dungeon's almost like the first half of the dungeon is non-spooky. It's still spooky, but it's like spooky, real-world spooky, and then it turns into hell and becomes spooky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess I should say there's the spooky and spookier versions. So I finished it over the weekend, and I think, as we mentioned earlier, I think it's far and away the best thing Bloober Team's ever done. I think in terms of story, acting, cutscene direction, and everything, I think they fucking nailed it. Like the story beats like hit really hard. The game is absolutely gorgeous. I do think my big two knocks against it is I think almost every section goes on a little bit too long. Everything has like this one extra puzzle where I'm like, am I still in this fucking prison? Like I'm not done with this yet. And you even get a little bit of it in the apartment. Every dungeon has it. The hospital, which you'll be getting to, they all have it. And then I do think there's an interesting discourse going on today. I think partly stemming from some of Yahtzee's criticisms of the game in this week's Full of Ramblematic, which I by and large agree with, where the move to the Resident Evil 4 camera kind of homogenizes the game and makes it feel like Resident Evil 2 remake and 3 remake and 4 remake and Alan Wake and even like the new Dead Space and Callisto Protocol. Like it's just like become the de facto camera angle for these things. And by that virtue, they do start to feel very similar, wherein back in the day, like Resident Evil 2 felt so different than Silent Hill 2.
Were they both fixed cameras then? Like the original games were both fixed camera or no?
Well, so I mean, original Resident Evil had fixed cameras because it was like pre-rendered backgrounds, right?
Yeah,
Whereas Silent Hill, it was 3D backgrounds, but the game took control of the camera in weird ways. Like it would sway the camera in ways that would like disorient you and kind of make you nauseous, but like purposeful decisions. Like it had like almost a step removed from James. That like you were, it made everything kind of feel otherworldly. I would say. So
you never had control of the camera in the original Silent Hill.
There was like you could like do small things with it, but no, like by and large, the game took control of it. And for better or for worse, in some parts, it's like really fucking awkward because you like the camera changes and you're like, what direction am I moving in? Like where am I right now?
Sure.
But in other parts, it's used super effectively to bolster that sense of like fear and distress and otherworldliness. And I didn't get that by having full control of the camera. It's like, well, it's less annoying, but at the same time, I'm just doing my normal, like sporadic, looking at every corner with the camera and
it's funny,
just treating it like a regular game.
The Medium had fixed camera, and I didn't grow up playing those Silent Hill 2 and all that, so I can't stand fixed cameras. Like I have a very hard time being immersed in a horror game when it has a fixed camera.
I totally get it.
Yeah,
I totally get it. Yeah.
So like I don't know. Definitely a design of the times for having that camera, and clearly I think it's super smart to base it off Resident Evil 2. That's the same kind of audience you want to attract to the remake.
The Resident 2 remake. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I will. Let me just again clarify. I really enjoyed the game. I give it a thumbs up, and I highly recommend it to anyone who wants a nice spooky experience. And I am curious to see if what happens with Silent Hill next. Like I know there's those two other games that they've announced, like F and Townfall, but I'm just curious if Bloober remakes another one, and if that is, like, which one is that? Because Silent Hill 4 is a game that is fascinating, but definitely could use a remake, because there is some unwieldy shit in that original game, along with some genius ideas. So
Mhm.
it's just cool that a good Silent Hill thing came out.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since a good Silent Hill thing came out, so I'm just happy that happened.
Yep.
Okay.
My first experience with Silent Hill was getting a review copy for Downpour. And that game was bad.
The game was not good.
You know what? You know, reminds me, or for some reason, Silent Hill always reminds me of that Murdered Soul Suspect game. Which wasn't.
Oh hell yeah!
That wasn't terrible.
No, you got to figure out how you died. How'd you die?
Yeah.
You got shot, I think. Wasn't a big mystery? You just got shot several times and you got bullet holes in you.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Murdered Soul Suspect. What else have you guys been playing?
Well, I loaded up Metaphor, ReFantazio. And I've been really enjoying it, actually. Like I was saying before we got on the podcast, that the time to gameplay in that is much shorter than getting to gameplay in Persona 5, so I appreciated that. I think
Encouraging.
I think they took the feedback on speed things up a little bit. But it's like a nice pace where they teach you all the intricacies of combat before throwing you into that 1st dungeon. I will say the first time you're given freedom to in between the dungeon and the days thing is a little bit, I'm not sure it's handled great, because like you can go and rank, do your talking and hanging out with people and ranking up your
or your bonds with them or whatever.
Your bonds, and then like the stuff like whatchamacallit?
Courage,
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it could have used. I think it could have used a little bit more direction at that point, just because you obviously don't want to waste all your days. But I'm not sure what that is doing yet to actually enhance.
Yeah, that's funny because that. Like I felt like I didn't need explanation on that, only because it's just the same as Persona, and because I'm like, well, I know exactly what. Okay, I got these stats, and I'm gonna need to do these stats, and at certain points you'll hit roadblock with party members or with confidants, and you'll need to be a certain stat in order to progress their story. But yeah, I could see that if you're kind of first time aboard, it being a little bit like, well, fucking, what do you want me to do right now? Like,
but I definitely
guess this is good.
Yeah, like all the characters. First story twist was pretty obvious when that came around, but whatever. And could use another battle theme or two. I really like the music, but it's a little bit overused.
That music might be why I start this game.
I've
been listening to the battle music.
It was why
one that like starts doing like the Esperanto rap.
Yes.
Yep. I heard that on Twitter. I was like, all right, fine, I'll start. This sounds awesome. But now I've heard it so many times, I'm like,
that gets me hyped. Yeah. If I hear that in public, I'm just gonna start fucking swinging. I'm gonna try to land that critical attack before someone else gets me first.
But
I wish people got this hype about the Fire Emblem Three Houses music, because the battle music in that game sounds a lot like
really
this.
Yeah, but it doesn't have Esperanto rap.
I guess not. Everybody's gaga for Esperanto now. I only just learned what the fuck it was.
But when I'm not playing it for 8 hours a day, live stream.
Yeah,
if I could.
Turns out the way you've been playing Persona is probably not the best way to play it.
Well, I thought I'd finish it a little bit faster, but now that I'm playing, at my own pace, I definitely get to enjoy it a lot more. And I really love their combat system. Like, I never get bored of. I fight everything. I never get bored of fighting on a combat system.
Yeah,
do get a little bit tired of all the menus popping up. I don't think I need to see the XP stuff pop up every time I beat something, but they look cool, so I can deal with it.
It looks cool. Yeah, you can give it a pass then.
Yep.
Quintuple A with a $2 dono just says, "Good for you, Nick. proud of you for playing it for. You're all grown up."
Yeah. Started tonight. Like, you guys are selling me. Like, the music's been selling me.
Yeah. It's good.
Like, I want to know why JRPGs are fun.
No. Yeah, I think you'll dig this one. I think you'll dig this one. Have you been playing anything, Casey? Obviously, we all checked out demos last week for Nextfest. Everyone, I'll link that video now. But check out those. Did any of those like really stand out to you that you kind of want to shout out that folks should?
Well, yeah, I picked 2 for the video. I played I played 3. I tried to play 4. I wanted to try out that VA proxy demo.
I tried that. It would not work for me.
Yes, the game wouldn't launch.
It launched for me, but then the controls were just so borked. I had no idea what to do.
And that's
that's what I mean. Yeah, like the screen came up and like nothing would happen.
That's the one that went viral on Twitter, where it's like parrying the nuclear
you can like parry nuclear bombs, or you can. There was an article that said you could parry the ground.
Good. Ground had to come.
Yeah.
So I was very curious to check out what that game was about. It just didn't function, so that was kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
I tried AI Limit, which Nick actually played and put in the video. I thought that was a pretty standard but like well polished Souls like.
Was my Dark Souls 1 comparison apt?
It's a little faster, but yeah, it's definitely like, hey, we can do that while looking at Dark Souls 1. So like, yeah, that makes sense. But Spirit Strike or Spirit X Strike.
Yeah, I never know how to like.
Yeah, whichever way they
Hunter,
want.
Hunter, Spy Family, like those.
Like that's the thing. Yeah, I used to say Hunter x Hunter all the time, and then I got shamed for it. It's like it's just Hunter Hunter, dude. I was like, oh well, fuck me then. But I don't know because I don't know. I just don't know. So Spirit Strike or Spirit X Strike, because if you search for just Spirit Strike, you probably won't even find it.
Yeah,
there's an X in the middle. But either way, it's a really janky, like goofy looking game. Like it's clearly like made in East Asia. Like it's Chinese, I believe they're speaking. It's like it's like a dude who is essentially Goku from Dragon Ball Z, but he's dressed like the dude from Fist of the North Star a little bit.
Yeah, that's exactly what it reminded me of.
So like it feels like somebody who loved a bunch of 90s anime was like, I can finally make the game I want to make. But they're actually nailing it because like it's such a fun, hectic ass, just third person action beat 'em up, right? Like you like there's just like Dust Bowl arenas and like this kind of weird desert town that they have in the demo, and like you can just do these like sick ass combos. You can parry attacks, and like the way everything's animated and the emphasis on every single impact and move is so over the top that you just feel amazing while playing it. Like you like when you're like wailing on dudes, like you'll build up their stun meter, which like a lot of games will do that sort of thing. You get to do like a finishing move, like say in Arkham Asylum, right? But like you just press one button and like the guy will like do this super over exaggerated like Dragon Ball Z power up type thing, and then he'll just do like this sick ass finishing animation. But then like you can connect that into like the next guy who tries to attack you by parrying them or like dodging them or whatever. So like it's just a fun series of just combat arenas. The boss fight is absolutely broken. Like that game needs to be rebalanced to hell. But like I have an issue, so I struggled through it until I beat it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. It needs a lot of work, but the core that's in that game is so much fun. So I wanted to highlight it because I want people to check it out and I want people to be excited for it, so that this thing gets done, so that someone can actually finish and work on this. It's a really fun concept.
The game it reminded me most of, which I'm not sure, I don't know if you've ever played, if we've ever talked about it, was God Hand.
No, yeah, a ton of people. Yeah, a ton of people was bringing that up in the comments in the video. So I went and watched like 30 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of good.
At least the desert energy,
like the desert setting, definitely.
Like, okay, that's what was reminding people.
Yeah,
like,
that was reminding me.
It doesn't look like it controls similarly, but like it definitely has the same energy of like this dude is in here just just wailing on everybody in the room with very overpowered like moves and stuff.
Yeah.
So like I get that, but I don't think those games, like from what I can see, because I've never played Gaia, but yeah, it doesn't like they play similarly at all.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
I tried another demo for a co-op horror heist game called Dark Hours. Actually comes out in their early access tomorrow. That one's pretty fun. It's I like the direction a lot of these, and I mentioned it earlier in the podcast, but I like the direction a lot of these multiplayer games are going into. Take like a concept like a horror extraction game, but also add in puzzles through the heist and all that, and lots of interactive elements in the environment. So the monsters in the demo are like when you, Casey, I think you played. No, I don't remember. In some of the SCP games, there's like these creatures that if you're looking at it, it will not move. But then if you turn around,
like Doctor Who's Weeping Angels or whatever.
Yeah, so if you turn around, it moves. Or if it's out of your line of sight.
That Chronos game from...
oh, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
From the... Crap, what's the dev's name? The people who made...
Gunfire Games?
Yes, Gunfire Games.
Yeah.
The Chronos game had that in VR, I remember. I didn't play it in VR, but like that was a VR game first, and that would have because that scared me in just the regular game, having to deal with that bullshit. In VR, I would not have been able to take that.
Oh yeah, Tyrael, like the mother dolls in Resident Evil 7. So yeah, demo's a lot of fun. It's the I guess the concept of the game is you go out, you're in this place, you have to find either a certain amount of money or certain objects in the game and like break into a vault to get those objects. And so there's a bunch of like puzzles you have to do to get into the vault, all while avoiding the monsters or whatever's going on in there. And so there's proximity chat and, you know, light and sound is all affected. So it was a good time in the demo. I'm excited to play it in early access tomorrow with my friends.
What was that game called?
Dark Hours.
Dark Hours. Yeah, that actually sounds pretty neat.
Yeah, it's I think even Marty might not.
No, me? I'm a coward.
Well, yeah, we know that.
I'm a little bitch boy. I don't want to play that. You guys been playing or watching anything else?
I did finish Astro Bot.
Oh, nice.
Which was a very, very delightful game.
Agreed.
Just smile on my face playing that thing.
Yeah, it's really good.
Doesn't last too long. Has all those extra levels if you want to go play them, but it's just perfectly paced, perfect amount of levels before it like overstayed its welcome. And
fun new ideas. Tossed. I hope if there's a fucking god in the clouds, Sony will just give that team carte blanche to do whatever they want.
Yeah, it's for a lot of platformers, like a lot of them have like weird difficulty spike. Even like the Crash Bandicoot games and all that always have like a very frustrating difficulty spike somewhere. Yeah. Astro Bot just didn't have that. It was just smooth throughout the entire game, almost too easy.
It feels like it took a page from the Nintendo playbook, where most Mario games are kind of designed so that kids can get through to the end of the game without hitting a crazy roadblock. However, there are optional levels or challenges that are like for the sweaties.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything in Astro Bot ever got too sweaty. Like I think the hardest level I probably had to retry like 20 times, and that's just one of those like short kind of minute long sprint levels where and like dying respawns you right away. But I think it's a smart way to design games for kids that adults can also like. So.
Yeah. Speakeasy asks, is it Game of the Year material? I don't think so. I
think it'll be in the conversation.
I think it'll be in the in the conversation, but I don't know. I definitely liked it a lot. I just wasn't as hyped about it as I think as a lot of other people were.
Yeah,
it's a Sony first party exclusive. It always gets thrown in that spotlight, regardless. And I always feel like such a curmudgeon to be like, it's a Sony first party game. It's not that good. They have a formula, whatever. But like that's just always how I feel about this stuff. Not that I don't feel like I have a grudge against Sony. Do I have a grudge against Sony?
Yeah, let's always be a hater. I'm just saying, the shirt you're wearing right now.
Oh shit!
You ask if you hate Sony.
Literally,
an Xbox shirt.
My joke was gonna be, I don't know, it's green and black, and then you moved a little bit. It's literally an actual Xbox controller shirt.
So yes, you do have a grudge.
I might be a little biased, guys.
I mean, I see your PlayStation controllers to your left. You're balanced out. You got
literally
Nintendo
have just
to your right.
The one.
I
have just the one.
Oh.
I have more Switch controllers than I do Xbox controllers, though.
Okay.
It's because of Smash.
It is because of Smash.
100% because of Smash.
Having played like Super Mario Odyssey, though, I don't think Astro Bot ever reached the heights of like Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, I'm a weird Odyssey hater. Not hater.
It is weird that you hate Odyssey, though.
I just don't get it. It's the Blotro of Mario games.
Oh no.
It's like a black licorice game.
That's how I feel about Galaxy, though. I feel like Galaxy is a super boring 3D Mario platformer.
Yeah, and I think it's like genius. So there you go. Yeah, teach their own.
Yeah, I tried playing Mario Galaxy not too long ago with the collection that you have on the Switch. But
it's a little wonky without the remote. In my
mind. The constantly changing perspective has made it hard. I don't really care for it, honestly.
You guys are never going to space.
No, probably not.
I don't want to go to space, if I'm being honest. Space looks terrifying.
Space is brutal. You been watching any anime, Casey? What you been weeping?
I thought you were asking me. I was like, no.
I was getting really close to starting Don to Don. Like real close.
You don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, because I started watching the freaking intro music. Pretty and good. Like it's a bop. The video's fun.
Really good.
Like what was funny was like when I first played it, like I walked away to go to the kitchen immediately after. It was like, oh, that was kind of overhyped. I didn't think it was that good.
Yeah.
Before I made it back to my office, I was singing the song. It was like, oh shit.
No,
It was like, oh shit,
you.
it's in my head that fast. I listened to it once, but like, no, I'm in.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those songs where it starts and you're like, oh, okay, I think I know what this is going to be, and then 5 seconds in, you're like, okay, I think I know what it's going to be now, and then 20 seconds in, you're like, oh my god, this is several things in one. There's a lot going on in the song.
So yeah, that's definitely gonna be something that I think about, and it was gonna be the reason why I started watching. Let me just see what the show is. I'll just watch the first episode because the intro was so fun.
Yeah.
But I got busy, so I didn't actually start that. So hopefully I'll forget, and then like when it's done, I can just binge it because I don't want to get stuck.
Like, you gonna watch it? What? Okay, if I tell you this, the premise is a demon steals the main character's balls. Like literal balls. He doesn't have balls anymore, and they gotta figure out how to get the balls back from this demon, who's an old granny who lives in a dark tunnel, and says like, "I'm gonna eat your weenie." Was this raising? Is this lowering?
No, I was always gonna watch.
He's asking me.
Oh,
no, I know. Casey, you're all in. You
okay.
want to see that boy get his balls stolen?
But okay, when he gets his balls stolen, does he go, "Oh no, these nuts"?
Maybe in the original Japanese.
Okay.
But I cannot say.
I will.
I
Maybe
cannot
I
say
will watch
what
to
we-
find out if he says that.
I saw that. So I think a new One Piece something is premiering soon in Japan. And
like
I saw that
fan letter episode.
it is delayed because they don't want to publish it alongside the World Series because Japan is so interested in the Major League Baseball World Series
they love
because of
baseball.
Shohei Ohtani, which is fascinating. Greatest show on earth. That's the greatest
nice of them.
nickname any athlete has ever had. Shohei Ohtani, the greatest show on earth.
The greatest show on
Nick
earth.
doesn't
Yeah,
even
I
get
get it.
Nick doesn't even get it. Nick's still thinking about Turbo Granny stealing that guy's balls. Anything else? You want to wrap
That's
up?
Yeah, I don't think I have much of anything else. I'm listening to music. You guys like
Let's talk
music?
about music. Listen, I talk about Turbo Granny stealing balls. You can talk about music.
I'm assuming no, but have either of you or anyone in chat heard of Joy Oladokun?
No, that sounds
No.
made up. I don't even know how to Google it.
Does it sound made up?
I don't even know how to Google
It's
it.
made up as Goblin Commander, which I posted about
You-
today.
Everyone's heard of Tracy Chapman, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fast cars.
Essentially, new Tracy Chapman. It's a young guitar playing, piano playing, black female singer.
Okay.
Makes beautiful music, beautiful singing voice, like contemporary music. Like she sings about like social issues. She sings about like the country. She sings about her life, whatever. Like I've been listening to like the last 3 albums, but she just released another album like this week. I want to say like in 2024. So I was listening to like her 2022 joint, a little bit of 2023 joint, but then the 2024 one came out, and like I have that on loop right now. She's like my new favorite artist. Like just really awesome songwriter and musician.
What is her name? If anyone wants to Google it.
I'm gonna write it in chat.
Yeah, you said it, and I started to type it out, and I was like, I don't know what words these are.
I just want to double check I'm not misspelling it. Yeah, I got it right.
Okay.
So boom, Joy Oladokun.
Oh, I was trying to spell it as several words.
Yeah, that's what I mean. To be fair, I thought so too.
Yeah. I didn't realize you were literally saying your name.
Kinda
I thought you
sounded
were
like-
saying like it was like a band's name.
Oh,
or something.
okay,
Gotcha.
No, yeah, it's a single person. It's just
Okay.
her name.
Almost sound like Count Dooku's daughter,
It was not Count Dooku's daughter.
Joy Oladuku.
Even it's even I googled it. The first picture that pops up looks exactly like if you would Google like a Tracy Chapman picture. Like even like
she
dressing
looks
the same.
she looks
thing.
almost
Yeah.
exactly like Tracy Chapman from a
Yeah.
glance. Honestly,
That's great. I love that. I'm gonna check that out.
great music.
Yeah, music is one of those things. Like I was so tapped in to music, like in like 2004 to 2012, and then I got in the fucking games industry and just music. I fell off. Like I didn't have the
It's
time.
hard to keep up with everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's difficult.
especially if we got this anime where they're stealing balls.
You gotta,
I'm
you
here
gotta
watching
watch that.
fucking 12 hours of football every weekend.
Right.
It's brutal. It's tough out here.
Yep, my brain has room for video game knowledge, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget everything else in my life, and I'm getting in trouble for it.
Yeah.
I don't forget everything else in my life. I just like you ask me like a pop culture reference, I'm like I don't know what you're talking about. No idea.
But we go to you. You're our pop culture. You're our youth correspondent.
We call you Nicky E.
Nikki. Call you Nikki.
I got SpongeBob references for you, and that's about as far as I get.
I'll pass.
They're also old SpongeBob references. Like there's not like nothing.
I didn't even know they continued making new episodes after I stopped. I just assumed SpongeBob stopped when I stopped.
Yeah, that checks out.
You got old. We did it. We made it to the end of the show. I'm extremely proud of us. But we have so much more fun stuff ready for you throughout the week. Tomorrow we'll have a new semi-ramble-matic. More thoughts from Yahtzee on Silent Hill 2, but kind of a little different direction. So stay tuned for that. Casey, you and I will be continuing our Metroid Prime journey tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Central. Nick, are you going to be streaming?
I may be streaming not A Quiet Place because it did not look very good.
And Bantham made that beautiful art for nothing.
I was very
did the game suck?
I was very disappointed watching it because like I was hoping it was going to be a lot more like Alien Isolation with a lot of reactive AI, but it's very heavily scripted and like insta-fail stealth sections, and I'm like
yeah.
Also, like I was kind of making fun of the game because a lot of the objects that you knock over, like there's like red cans on the ground everywhere, and I'm like, who just left these cans like sitting upright everywhere for you to ruck into? Why?
Especially
the aliens did.
Somebody's either trying to get you killed.
Cans, someone's gonna knock it over.
Yeah, somebody's trying to get you killed so you can steal your shit.
Yeah.
The invaders, they wild.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna do a different game tomorrow.
Okay. Well, oh yeah, because there won't be no Resi 7 stream tomorrow. Jay is traveling, so none of that. And then Friday we'll have dev heads, and all sorts of. We'll be having a bunch of bite sizes are in the docket, ready to be fired out. New ones from Jess, new ones from Elise, possibly a new contributor showing up very soon. So look forward to that. What else we got going on, Casey? What should folks check out? I linked earlier, but definitely watch that the Steam Nextfest video.
Yes, watch Steam Nextfest video. Mentioning bite sizes is I actually have one that should be coming out at some point. Eric is helping me edit that while I work on some other stuff.
Nice.
On MechWarrior 5, so look forward to that.
Nice.
And
MechWarrior 5
clans, yes, because MechWarrior 5 is its own different game. Yeah. Weird.
Is that true? Oh wait, did you guys see the Star Citizen games come out in 2026?
So
we shall see.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of that, Marty already mentioned the Metroid stream. I don't think I'm on anything else on Second Wind, but me and my fiance should be back for more Dredge this Friday, and I should be back on my personal channel, Saber Gears 9, for more Smash on Sunday, Super Smash Sunday, that is, at 2:30 p.m. In honor of
Sakurai's final video.
Yeah, every Sunday has been in honor of Sakurai.
It used to be in honor of Jesus, and now it's in honor of Sakurai.
I've been doing that Smash stream since Smash 4 was out. So
really,
yeah, I've been doing that for a very long time.
Damn. That's more consistent than any relationship I've ever been. Your relationship with Smash is healthier than any relationship. Awesome. Nick, did I miss anything?
I have a new episode of Unpacked out this week. I'm going over kind of the recent history of 343 Industries, now Halo Studios, so give that a look. We may have a game night stream this weekend. I don't remember when Jesse was trying to schedule his Dead by Daylight stream. But we'll figure that out. Or maybe we'll play that Dark Hours game this stream. I'll see if I can wrangle up some people for that. I think I said that wrong. I don't know what the dog was licking my elbow as I was trying to say that.
Jesus, what you said it right. Everything got so weird. You said it fine, and then everything got so weird afterwards. God, I've always been allergic to dogs, so I've never had a pet. But the idea of just a living thing in your house that could just sneak up to you and start licking your elbow is so weird to me. It's like so deeply weird to me. I just don't get it.
I don't get it either, and I just live with it. Hey,
3 things I don't get:
it's my
cilantro, Balacho, Mario Odyssey, and this strange animal licking my elbow.
This is not a person crawling up and doing it. Then we might have a problem.
It depends.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
depends.
you know,
Depends on what you're
whatever
into.
comes out of that broken closet of yours. But on November 16th, we will have our 1 year celebration event. We are getting things scheduled for that now. Should have some special guests show up for that. New announcements and lots of fun multiplayer games with the community.
Heck yeah, Saturday the
Yeah.
16th.
Saturday the 16th.
And then, oh yeah, and as a reminder for anyone, I'll be posting in the Phoenix chat tomorrow. But if you're a member of the Phoenix tier, our monthly movie night will be held a week from pretty much right now. We're gonna be doing it at after Firelink next week, 8 p.m. Central. We'll be watching John
Thing.
Carpenter's The Thing, an actual good movie, an honest to
Yeah.
God goodie,
Oh, Borderlands wasn't
so-
good.
an honest to God goodie.
No.
No, Borderlands was very not good. No,
wasn't good.
Equilibrium's good, and Dick Tracy's good. We've watched some goodies.
I miss Dick Tracy. I wish I could have seen that again.
Yeah.
It's been like
he's
a
a-
million
he's a
years
good
since I
cop.
watched that movie.
Just a real good cop. Excellent. Thank you all so much, everyone, for tuning in live. Everyone listening, watching the VOD. We appreciate y'all. So for Nick and Casey, this was Marty. This was Firelink episode number 42. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Have a great rest of the night, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
Peace.
I don't think I have the credits set up, so we're just gonna end the stream.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Bye bye.